So I can't,
So you just, you might be.
you can't get managerial to the same level.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, it's your one.
So you're just, you might. You can't get managerial. So I thought we weren't doing the voice. It's not recorded. Oh, it's not recorded. Good.
Maybe I taught myself. That was great.
Grab my thing there. Oh, thanks. I'm sorry. Yeah. We hear a lot of support.
This is my Kenny. This is my wife. Or you, this is my wife Bethany.
Nice to meet you, Maureen.
It was all hard to do. Meeting. Yeah.
You're right. I felt right.
Yeah, and so. Yeah. So I'm burning with a, like, is this camera? Yeah. Yeah, that's her.
Oh, Patty's right here.
Yeah, that's a nice area.
They do separate, so it's, yeah.
So when you're walking the other.
She lives.
Yeah, it's-
Yeah, she's a.
Nice.
Good down.
I'm from. Sunny.
They see a piece of grass that they can build on.
Oh, absolutely. Come down and meet us and with I'm gonna start recording.
Right.
Okay, that's the morning, folks. Now, not only are you on TV, but your voice will be. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Lucy Robbins Wells Library's 86th annual meeting of the Board of Trustees. My name is Diane Stam, and I'm the president of the Board of Trustees. During tonight's meeting, we'll hear from our library director, Lisa Baxton, about what's been happening in our library over the last year. We'll vote in the Board of Trustees officers for the next year. And we'll also be honoring folks that have done outstanding work in volunteerism or contributing in other ways to our library. You can see some of the gifts up here. You have to go through the business stuff with me before I go to the honorees, so hang in there. You may have heard about a library renovation and expansion project. Our board's facility and site committee, chaired by Christopher Riley, has led our discovery and design process. This has been a collaborative effort with library staff, patrons, and survey results. Last winter, we shared our plans with the town's Library Additions and Renovations Committee, which we quickly renamed LARC. But that's a lot of words every time you talk about them. The LARC committee then presented our conceptual designs, conceptuals underlined in my copy in case you didn't know, to the town council. While the consensus was that an improved and enlarged library is a needed asset, the town council asked us to present some options. We are grateful for the feedback provided by Joe Solomon, who's the town's Director of Facilities and Maintenance, as we once again meet with our architect, construction managers on defining current costs and possible options. The town's LARC committee engaged a structural engineer for a report on our existing original building. So that's the building that you can see with the brownstone from the inside and what you can see from the outside when you drive down Cedar Street. Not only is this a good idea, it is a requirement to apply for some of the state buildings grants. We're good. The Board of Trustees have been planning for an expansion for the expansion needs of the library for many years. About 20 years ago, in 2003, and again in 2007, the trustees purchased 2 parcels of land along Mill Street, now known as Massacola Way, at a cost of over $500,000 to purchase both lots and clean them up, basically taking the houses down. We don't have the slide, can we?
No.
Do the second slide. Our goal is to have a flexible space. Well, with more space, right? That's our problem here. While our library staff has done a great job in searching out grants for new furniture and reconfiguring our space to provide better service, we are cramped and unable to offer services that our growing town needs, such as makerspace, computer labs, teen spaces, meeting spaces, and program space. We have 3 small study rooms. That's where you see in the afternoons all the tutors and the students working. They're very popular. They're even popular during school with the adults. We have 2 meeting rooms, this community room, which holds some people, but not a lot of people. And there's another smaller room for meetings upstairs, the Lionheart room. Larger programs, such as our Hangel concerts, are restricted to after hours. As we move all of the bookcases from the center of the area of the library to the back of the library where all the stacks are, which would allow us to seat more patrons when we have a large event like that. And let me tell you, even though those things are on wheels, they are heavy. And somehow they're heavier on the way back. On the way out, just saying, okay? Suggestions for a reimagined library are welcome. We have a suggestion box at the circulation desk, and I ask you to take a few moments to add suggestions whenever they come to mind. A tremendous amount of credit for our popular library and its services is due to our director, Lisa Maston, our staff, and our many volunteers. They have created a welcoming environment for our patrons, and they strive to remain flexible and imaginative in meeting the needs of our community. Whether it's in promoting and assisting with new technology, providing areas for gatherings, our children and adult programs, or just receiving a friendly smile on the way in. The Board of Trustees holds our annual 5K race in May. This past year was our 28th race. And we maintained a record number of over 300 registered runners. Pretty good. It's a fun day with plenty of family and friends there to support the runners. This event earns funds the board uses for library items not covered in our town budget. We would not run this event successfully if it were not for sponsors, board members, and volunteers from staff and our community at large. Special recognition will be given to some of these folks later in the evening. I'm now going to shift a little bit into the business part of our meeting. I'll ask for the secretary's report. George Bernacco is our secretary, and with your permission, I'll ask for a motion to waive the reading of the minutes for our September 9th, 2024 annual meeting. If you can't stand the suspense, it's all online. So may I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Maureen. All those in favor, and I'm asking for the board members to vote.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Next, I'll invite Leanne Mankey up to give her treasurer's report.
The dollars and cents, nuts and bolts are online. The reports per month. This is just an overview of the last year. Fiscal year end June 30th, 2025. Fiscal year 2025 closed with Lucy Robbins Wells Library Inc. in a very healthy and growing financial position. We continue to partner with Kingston Wealth Management to ensure our investment strategy leaves us well placed to weather current market conditions as well as grow and plan for future needs and circumstances. We also continue to invest in our facility with planned improvements. We typically operate with a break-even budget. This year, we were able to meet and exceed operating expenses for the board with standard anticipated income and fundraising efforts, And we are also allowed for funding of multiple gifts for the programming activities and collection purchases. This year's 5K race was held in May of 2025, and we had a great turnout of participants, many returning runners, as well as a little sprinters run for our potential future 5K runners. We were thrilled to receive an unprecedented amount of sponsor contributions and participation, making this year's affair one of our most financially productive races to date, a resounding success as an event as well as a fundraiser. I would like to extend our thanks and appreciation to our volunteers and our race sponsors and in-kind donors who have continued to provide monetary and other sponsorship and are working with us to find new ways to promote our library. Circumstances continue to challenge the Lucy Robbins Wells Library to provide top-notch services and programs. I'm pleased to say that our wonderful staff continues to meet these challenges, finding new and creative ways to keep our library a first-class institution, displaying adaptability and flexibility with very short notice and space limitations. Many of these programs are made possible with the financial support of the Friends as well as private donations received. These donations are the backbone of the library's fundraising efforts. We are a free library. We do not charge. Contributions specifically earmarked for restricted funds such as memorial collection, collection and various designated program accounts are being supported, allowing the Board of Trustees to fund various book purchases for the collection, including particular genres, as well as the expansion of our Library of Things collection. We just need more space for it. Program funding is also a priority. The Sleva Youth Series Fund provides an annual author visit to all of our public elementary schools and associated book and material support for these events. The Hanel Fund is used to provide cultural programming events during the year. I encourage you to come out for October 17th? Yes, for jazz presentation. In addition, we have been fortunate to receive contributions to the unrestricted funds account, which do not stipulate specific spending constraints. We appreciate our donors who continually financially support the library, contributors such as the Drum Group and our legacy givers. Their regular and reliable donations greatly assist us in maintaining a robust schedule of activities, programs, and collections. This year, we were truly blessed with some very substantial monetary gifts. Patty Foley, a longtime library patron, friend, and former board member, left an unrestricted gift request to the library. We also received a very sizable distribution from the Violet and Donald Johnson Trust, which is also an unrestricted gift. Monies from the Margaret Hooker Trust were released to the library this year as well, establishing a significant endowment, which allows the fund income and gains to be utilized in an unrestricted manner. This type of giving allows the board to address current issues and needs as they arise, as well as improving our ability to make long-term plans. In addition to typical fundraising pursuits, the library board and staff continue to pursue grant funding opportunities for programming as well as facility improvements and renovations. Grants provided by Triumph are funding multiple STEM children's and teens programs. Grants solicited and received from the Hartford Foundation for Public Giving are in place or pending for various programs, including early childhood, assistive technology, multi-language learners, tablet Wi-Fi hotspot subscriptions. In the short term, we're planning a major building renovation project as we restore the historic Churchill door facade facing the Cedar Street. These restoration efforts are necessary to protect and maintain a unique feature in our National Historic Register building, and we will continue to pursue grant and other funding in order to facilitate the construction required to bring the door back to its former glory. Beyond short-term programming and other needs, the board is actively investigating grant and other funding and fundraising possibilities as we continue to plan for our future renovation and expansion. At the present time, our records are being prepared for our accountant, who will review them and prepare the financial statements and the nonprofit IRS filings due in November. As we look forward to another successful year for the Lucy Robbins Wells Library, we thank you all for your continued support.
Thank you, Leanne. I like this part because she's already sat down. Does anybody have questions for Leanne? Thank you. Next, I'd like to invite Lisa Maston, our library director, up.
I'm actually gonna be over here. I just have to grab the mic. Hope I can do this. I'm gonna My name is Lisa Maston. I'm the library director. As Karen today, we've been together in, well, my position, her position for 12 years, although I've been at the library for 29 years. That's a long time. But tonight I'm going to give you an overview of the past year at the library, and we have had a very busy year. The summer of 2024, we had a lot of people coming through the doors, checking out items. We had three summer reading programs that were being offered to children's, teens, and adults. The theme was read, renew, repeat, a conservation theme. So many of the programmings that we did that summer were related to those programs. The library offers books and more. We have a physical collection of over 157,000 items, and it's books, audiovisual materials, things like that. We also have a library of things collection, which is non-traditional circulating items. So we circulate Wi-Fi hotspots, lawn games, silicone cake pans, ukuleles. And in addition, we have a digital collection of over 103,000 items. That's a digital books, audiobooks, music, streaming movies, TV shows, things like that. With that collection, we actually use multiple vendors to offer the best selection to our patrons, but because of the high cost of digital materials, a part of this collection is shared with the 33 libraries in our consortium. We offer online resources to our patrons, educational and informational. We pay for some of these, and some of them are free through the state library, and they're used quite heavily, over 106,000 times. We have popular services at the library. We have 2 notaries, 2 of our full-time librarians are notaries, and they average about 40 a month, but this past month they did 80. So that's a growing service. We have a nice homebound delivery service, thanks to our dedicated volunteers who they pick up and deliver weekly to our homebound patrons. We offer free computers, free Wi-Fi access to anybody that walks through the door. We have free meeting space and study space that people can use. Staff answered almost 40,000 reference questions. And in addition to that, we answered over 1,900 tech-related questions. So they're very specific to technology, library technology, or personal technology. And staff processed over 37,000 interlibrary loans. And that's when patrons request materials from other libraries. They have to process that. And then also other libraries request from us to lend as well. You have to package them and send them back and forth through the delivery system. The staff works really hard to provide a wide variety of program for all ages. Children's programs tend to be about playing, learning, interacting, socializing, and most of them are literacy based. Teen programming tends to be, it's a combination of in-person and grab-and-go kits, and this promotes creativity, collaboration, and problem solving. And when I was looking at this picture, they love the glow-in-the-dark program, but all I thought was, why don't they have the lights on and how can they see? They had a blast when they were doing that. And adult programming is a combination of in-person, virtual, and grab-and-go kits. And here we also have a new program that we started last year that's become very popular, and it's a virtual program. 2 to 3 times a month, we can offer live virtual author talks with well-known authors. So you can sign up to be at that program, and you can actually ask the author questions during the program. But if you can't attend the program, they have archived views of that program. And that's why you see such a jump in our number. We had over 13,000 archived views of this service to our patrons. There you are. There's the summer. When Diane was talking earlier about moving the furniture, all those chairs you see at the summer reading finale had shelving there first. So we had to move it all to put the chairs out. We continue to work with the schools, to collaborate with schools to support the curriculum. We have school visits where we bring students into the library, and we actually go into the schools as well to promote library services. Right this week, they were attending the school open houses. We have people that go to business events, and we've actually been able to expand our visits to senior living facilities. We just added a 5th senior living facility recently. So every month, we visit each of those different senior living facilities, bringing them materials for them to check out, and we also do programming for them. New at the library, Thanks to the Friends of the Library, we're able to purchase a kids' game table and stools, as well as stools for the teen section. And the game table comes preloaded with 38 educational games for kids to play on when they're at the library. We purchased new chairs, lounge chairs. Those had not been replaced since the last edition in 1988. So now we have nice new comfy chairs. We added a new service called Flipster. It's online digital magazines that you can either download to your device or just read on your device. We added some high-tech and low-tech assistive technology, including an iPad Air, a C-Pen, magnifiers. And this year we tried something new. The last 3 summers, we've been getting baby chicks. We get the eggs, and then the chicks are born in the incubator. And Bailey, head of children, thought it would be a good idea to try baby quails. And, so we received 7 eggs, 3 survived, and we found out quail eggs are much more fragile. So I asked some of our staff the other day, how would you describe the baby quails? And psychotic, demons, evil. And Bailey wrote in a report, she thought they were, plotting the overthrow. Not so sure we're gonna do that next summer. We were lucky to receive some leftover ARPA funds from the town to redesign office space. So we have two offices in the library that had 5 staff people in each office, but only 4 desks and 4 computers. So someone was always either didn't have a workspace or they were displaced. So if you look at the pictures, this is the children's office. On the left was the before picture, on the right is the after picture. Everybody now has workspace. They have their own computers. We were able to paint and add all new tech-friendly furniture. And then the other office is Bailey's office. And we changed her furniture around, and by doing that, we were able to add more storage for them. And then this, the other office is the reference office, and this is in the original library, so it's a small office and has a lot of permanent shelving, but same thing, we had 5 people working in there and only 4 workspaces. So we took everything out, we painted it, we added new carpet, and then we added all new tech-friendly furniture. And everybody has their own workspace, and there's more storage space in the offices. We have a staff of 38 here, and they're a great staff. They're very creative, they're hardworking. Customer service is the best customer service is what they strive for. We were fortunate this past year to be able to finally fill a full-time position that had been unfunded since 2020. So Julia Mazur, who is the young woman down in the lower corner there, she is now helping us to be able to expand some services to our older adults. And I would like to add here that I wanted to thank my assistant director, Karen. She's my right-hand person and major support for me, but also for the staff and the day-to-day operations. And I am going to say she decided to retire in January, and I'm not talking about it yet, but that's happening soon, so it's not to look forward to, I guess. We have a great group of volunteers, and we have different types of volunteers at the library. The Library Board of Trustees is a board that's a group of volunteers, and they're the governing board of the library that sets policy and ensures the future of the library. Our Friends of the Library, they work on fundraising and advocating for the library. We have student volunteers from the high school that help us with library programming. And we have regular library volunteers that are in weekly doing specific tasks for staff. The Friends of the Library, as I just said, they're very hardworking. They fundraise throughout the year. They do this through their book sales. They have 2 book sales in the fall and spring. They have a Winter Fest, which is a wine and cheese social every January now. Last year, the tickets sold out in 11 days. And it's very fun, and they did the best they've ever done. They have membership. That's another way that they raise money. They have a Friends Corner, which it's right out near the circ desk, and it's an ongoing book sale that's always open when the library is open. And through this fundraising efforts, most of the money comes back to the library. You'll see that they budgeted $45,500 to come back to us. They pay for 95% of library programming. They pay for the museum pass programs, they pay for the newsletter to be printed, and they also help to fund the collection. And they just did their new budget for the next year, and they budgeted $60,500 for the library. The Board of Trustees, as I said, is the governing board that sets policies to help the operations of the library and to help staff. They have a legacy society that is set up to help accept donations, bequest provisions for the future. And this money is used to ensure the future of the library. They also use this money to fund the Wi-Fi hotspot program. That's 10 hotspots a month, so you're paying 10 monthly fees. They support the library collection. They also started a dining partner program that is working with the area restaurants, and you get a dining partner ticket. It comes out 5 times a year. Inside is discounts that you can bring the ticket with you to the restaurant and get a discount each time you go there. And as Diane had mentioned, we had our 5K road race this year. We were very lucky to have former Newington resident and also marathon champion Bill Rogers running the race again this year. And not only did he run the race, but he gave a lot of his time before and after the race to speak to other runners, and he's the most gracious. He's such a nice man. We also had the Little Reader Sprint, where the kids between the ages of 2 and 5 can either run a 50-yard sprint or a 100-yard sprint. And they get a little swag bag and a medal when they finish, and it's the best thing to watch. And the money, as they said, from this fundraiser for the board benefits the library. And we also, through bequest to the library, are able to offer special events. And the John and Adela Sleva Young People Literary Series author event allows us to bring a nationally known children's author to Newington to visit all 3rd and 4th graders in town. So this Lauren Tarshish, she wrote the I Survived series, scholastic books, and there's quite a few of them. They're all about historical disasters that kids survived, I think. And but she came and spoke to all the students about writing. She donated 10 books to each school. And this was made possible by the Sleva daughters, who made a bequest in honor of their parents, John and Adela. And then the George G. Hanel Fine Arts Series was made possible by a bequest from George G. Hanel to allow us to offer cultural events. And this past year, we had Lynn Roby Knapp. There's a jazz concert with Lynn Roby Knapp, a holiday concert with the Sugar Tones, and we had Celtic music with Dan Ringrose. We were also fortunate to receive 2 grants this year, the Triumph Group Charitable Foundation STEM grant, which the purpose is to advance education with a focus on STEM for kids and teens. I don't want to say that again, that's so much. But this grant has been amazing for the library and for the children's programming and teen programming. It's allowed us to offer bigger programs to larger groups of kids and teens that have a focus on STEM and science. We were able to offer programming, grab and go kits, and it's also a way to supplement the collection. And one of my favorite ones is the whale mobile that you see. They brought this whale across the street to the senior center and inflated it. And then the picture below is the children's and teens went inside the whale and they learned all about whales and their environment. And it was just really fascinating. We also received a grant from the Harper Foundation for Public Giving Newington Greater Together Community Fund for Multi-Language Learners Initiative. And this is multi-language learners. English is not their primary language, so we're trying to offer special programming, English conversational programming, bringing speakers in to speak to this group of people about services that they might benefit them. And we also want to beef up our collection. In the foreign language collection, what I mean is more like fiction and nonfiction in different languages, as well as the ESL collection. Challenges that we're facing, budget constraints. When I was talking about digital materials, we typically pay 3 to 4 times more than an individual does for a single digital title for an ebook or whatever. But we're also limited as to how many times it can be used or how long we're able to keep it before we have to repurchase the title. So that really can eat into your budget. And as the digital materials become more popular, it's been really challenging to kind of fund that. As Diane mentioned, we have space constraints. We have a finite amount of space in the library. There's not enough room for programming, for staff, for patrons, the collection, and also for parking. And we have an aging HVAC system, and they have done fixes the whole time they've been here. They've been trying to fix this HVAC system, but this past year we had a pretty serious mold and mildew issue in part of our collection, and we had to close off part of the collection. They had to remediate it. We had to clean all the books. We ended up losing some of the books, and we ended up losing some shelving space. But part of it is because with all the heat and humidity that we've been having the last few summers, our system can't handle it. So that's one of the problems of an aging building as well. And then, but many of you have heard about the recent funding, or defunding of the Institute of Museum and Library Services. We're waiting to find out what the impact that's gonna be on public libraries. That's federal funding that goes to the state library that comes down to public libraries. And that funds things like, the online databases that we can offer for free, the delivery service for those interlibrary loans, the services to the blind, things like that. So we're waiting to see what the impact of those cuts are gonna have on public library services. And then finally, we have been, more and more, we're having, there's been challenges to books, to displays, to programs. So book bans and censorship are a big concern. We have a pretty robust library material selection policy that we use when we purchase materials, but it's very challenging and very stressful when someone comes and they want you to pull something off the shelf and how you handle that. And so all libraries in the state are working on tightening that up so that we have something in place at least to be able to handle that. Looking forward to the future, we're always looking for funding and grant opportunities to fund new initiatives, to fund existing initiatives, to supplement current funding. We want to increase our Library of Things collection to add more of the non-traditional circulating items. We keep looking for emerging tech trends that we can offer to staff and patrons. We'll work with the library board, of course, towards a future expansion. And we're always looking at services and space to see, can we do something differently? Should we make changes? How will we do that? That's something we're constantly doing here. And then finally, I just wanted to end by saying that, public libraries are community destinations. We are more than books today. We're warm and welcoming. Anybody can walk through the door. They don't have to have a library card to use many of the services. We were open 324 days last year, including 25 Sundays. We had a lot of people visit. They checked out a lot of items, but people come here because it's not just to get a book, it's to be with other people, to connect with other people, to learn, to exhibit the art. We have new artists that just hung their artwork the other day. So it's really, for me, it's really an honor to work in this kind of profession and to work with the staff that I do and to work in a town that does support its library. So thank you.
Does anyone have questions for Lisa? No. Again, this library would not be the library that it is without Lisa, Karen, their leadership, and the staff. One of the benefits of being on the board of trustees is you really get to know the staff, or at least what they do. And it's just amazing what they do in our community. So thank you to Lisa and your full staff. We appreciate it. Now we're gonna go back into a little bit more of what I would call the board business, and I'm gonna ask Maureen Lyons to come up for nominations for the officers of the board of trustees for the next year.
It's a tight squeeze, so you have to take numbers. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Our first order of business is renewal of 3-year terms for certain board members. Corporate board members were appointed for a 3-year term. And at the end of that term, they have an option to either renew or not. And this year we have 2 corporate members that are renewing, Leanne Mankey and Diane Stam, and they've accepted or indicated a preference for another 3 years. So, we're putting their names forward, and I'd like to hear a motion to accept.
Motion.
I'll second. Jason, Chris. Okay. Any discussion? All in favor of? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion carried. Leanne and Diane will be with us for another 3 years. Thank you both. We also are considering the nominations for the officers of the Board of Trustees. Diane Stam as president, Christopher Riley, vice president, Leanne Mankey, treasurer, and George Bernacco, secretary. So, are there any nominations, any further nominations from the floor? Hearing none, I'd like to have a motion to accept the aforementioned names and also for a single ballot to be cast for their vote. Second? All in favor? Okay. So the slate is accepted as presented, and because we're casting one ballot, let's congratulate our officers. And if you all could stand, I mean, most of us know who you are, but Diane Stam, our president, Leanne Mankey, treasurer, Christopher Riley, vice president, and George Bernacco. And anybody who's interested in becoming a member of the Board of Trustees as a corporate member, and we will have some openings. If you could just contact the business office and then they'll get in touch with the appropriate representatives on the board, and then we'll reach out to you. We're a great board. We're a working board, but it's it's certainly worthwhile, and we always look forward to new members. Thank you.
So thank you, everyone. There is one person in this audience that was also up for a 3-year term renewal, and she has decided to step down. But I want to thank Anna Eddy for all her years of service. Anna's an idea person. Anna came up with so many ideas and policies and programs, you could not believe it. So while she's stepping down, she also said to me in a moment of weakness, I won't completely disappear. So we're gonna try to rope her back in a couple of times to help with some of these programs and things that we have. But again, it is, I think, a great organization. We have a great mission. And half of the things I was gonna say were said by other people. So it's a very tight team and they do some of the heavy lifting for me. So I appreciate that always. Next on the agenda is old business. We don't have any old business, so we can move through that quickly. And then the very next thing is new business, and that's recognition of our honorees. The first recognition that I'd like to call out is the grant recognition for the Triumph Group Foundation grant. And I would like to ask Christopher Riley to come up here and read a little thing that we have, and then we have some folks in the audience, and we'll have them come up and be able to present them with a gift. So it's very impressive. You heard Lisa mention the STEM program and some of the grant work that they had done. So Chris is here. Chris is here with a few more details. You might have to adjust that. If you're slightly over 5'2", sometimes the mic doesn't work.
Welcome, everyone. The Library Board of Trustees is excited to recognize the Triumph Group Foundation for its support of the library through numerous grant funding initiatives. I started at Triumph myself in 2023, and when I found out that my company offered grants to various organizations, and I was on the library board, I brought it up to the library board, and I know that you guys. Yeah. So I've been proud to sponsor the library board for these past couple of years for their grants, and I hope to continue to do so. The library was grateful for the opportunity to apply for the Triumph Group Foundation grant that advances education with a focus on science, technology, engineering, and math, the STEM. Thanks to the generosity of the Triumph Group STEM grant, last year we received $4,000 to offer Newington youth a wide array of STEM programming. From creating their own solar pizza ovens, to meeting a variety of raptors, to learning about chemical reactions, to building their own, building their own wooden robots. Newington youth were engaged and hands-on with science. Statistically speaking, we held 13 STEM-related activities, both events and grab-and-go kits, and had 363 youth participate in this past year. Because of this grant, we had a successful run of STEM programs that exposed kids and teens to entertaining yet educational experiences. There was so much interest in our offered activities that there was typically a long wait list. This made us think about how we could do better, include more of our patrons while still providing quality programming. Last year, we started on a smaller scale. But because we knew there was such high interest, we wanted to branch out even more. Due to the overwhelmingly positive response to our STEM events, we would like to move forward with bigger and more elaborate offerings to enable us to attract more library patrons, as well as expanding them to include family programming. This would help us achieve our goal of accommodating more people from our community. We applied for the grant again and were awarded another $4,000. This summer, we were able to enhance our summer offerings by including programs we would not have been able to offer otherwise. The Children's Museum presented their multi-station family STEAM event at our summer reading kickoff. We had the Whale Mobile, which Lisa had shown visit, which was an amazing experience. Kids, along with willing parents, were able to go inside an inflatable humpback whale to learn about whales and their environment. Riverside Reptiles brought creatures that teens could touch and learn all about their adaptations, traits that help an animal survive in a specific environment. I know my daughter, I don't think she went to that program, but we've been to Riverside Reptiles. They do an amazing job. Both Children's and Teen had the Children's Museum bring Starlight, a portable planetarium, so that participants could learn about the night sky. This one. Children's had the beloved Poop Museum back to share their hysterical yet fascinating program, Their Butts Do What? Okay. It's kids, it's science. Both parents and kids were laughing while learning. And lastly, Teen held an event where participants could make their own do-it-yourself mini solar loop. This summer, we had 7 programs and 729 participants. We accomplished our goal of reaching more patrons with bigger programs. These grant funds allow the library to offer programming that fosters a love of STEM education, encourages family connection and learning, attracts more patrons to the library, and helps to build the next generation of engineers and innovators. The Library Board of Trustees is pleased to recognize the Triumph Group Charitable Foundation as an honoree this year for its continued support in providing grant opportunities to the library and the community.
Want to introduce them? Yeah. They're sitting smiling. We're very appreciative. Please come up.
This is Paul Markowski.
Hi, everyone.
Hi. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
I don't think I met your wife. They're sitting over there.
We don't have anything to do with this, but hello.
Yeah, but she was smiling bigger than anybody else when we were talking about everything that they did. So this is a certificate of appreciation for you that you can take with you.
Thank you.
And we also have, just to remind you, when the grant time comes,
Okay.
we have a little token of our appreciation that you can put on your bookcase for you. It's actually, I'm gonna pull the first one out, but it is actually an engraved glass book. And it talks about our appreciation of the STEM grants and what you've done, and it's
Thank you
just,
so much.
it's so important. We truly appreciate it.
Diane, can I get a picture of you holding that? And
Do you want me to hold it in the box or out of the box?
out of the box?
Do you want me in front of the
Yeah.
table?
I'll
Yes.
agree with you. Yeah. I'll get out of the way.
You know what, maybe you have a plain shirt, maybe you should hold it and stand in the middle. Yeah. There you go.
No, it's perfect. No, perfect. All right, one more, Diane, look at me.
Oh, I have to look at you. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Chris is part of my engineering team. I'm the engineering director over at Triumph. We're a engineering company in West Hartford. We love to support our community and STEM. Make some really cool products. We have 200 engineers working over in West Hartford. Pretty good site of 500 people making some cool aerospace stuff. So, thank you very much. Happy to support the library.
Someday in our new library, we'll be able to get the humpback whale in this building.
Yeah, right.
Next up, for appreciation is, grace recognition. And it's Kingston Wealth Management. We have both Dean and Bethany Spada here from Kingston Wealth Management. And Leanne will come up in a minute.
Hello. Kingston Wealth Management. I have the privilege of working with Dean on our investments as treasurer, whatever, but they wear a different hat for us with the race recognition. We greatly appreciate it. Tonight, the Library Board of Trustees is honoring Kingston Wealth Management for its continued support of the Newington Library 5K Challenge Road Race. The Library Board of Trustees has had a professional relationship with Dean Spada, founder of Kingston Wealth Management, for many years, helping the trustees manage their investments and bequests. In 2017, Kingston Wealth Management was approached to be a race sponsor, and they readily agreed and have been a sponsor ever since. In addition to being a sponsor, they donate a gift basket each year to be used as a race prize and have a sponsor table of the race, interacting with participants before and after the race. And if that isn't enough, Dean, Bethany Spada, and their daughter Sophie all ran the race. This past year, Bethany Spada, Marketing and Operations Director, offered to increase their role in the road race. They increased their sponsorship to the Little Reader Sprint level, took an active role in the Little Reader Sprint race, providing goodie bags for all the 2 to 5-year-olds who ran the race, and helped with this event at the race. The Little Reader Sprints are 2 short races, 50 and 100 yards for children between the ages of 2 and 5 years old. These sprints are held immediately after the library's 5K road race and are a wonderful way to encourage the fun of running in young children. The parents of many of the children who run in these races have just finished running the race, so the children are excited to be able to run in the race just like the parents. Kingston Wealth Management's participation in this race made the experience even more special for all the children who ran. Seeing the excitement and fun they have running the race and then receiving their race medals and their special swag bags, courtesy of Kingston Wealth Management after the race, was so special and rewarding. The library race is an annual fundraiser for the Library Board of Trustees that raises money for the board to use for improvements to the library building and for the future of the library. Sponsorship is an integral part of the success of this fundraiser. Having Kingston Wealth Management's continuous support helps ensure that this event can be held year to year. Their offer to increase their sponsorship and their role in the race meant a lot to the trustees and everyone involved, and helped make the race the success it was this year. The Library Board of Trustees is so appreciative of Kingston Wealth Management's continuous support of the Newington Library 5K Challenge Road Race through its sponsorship and race prize donations, all of which ultimately benefit the library and the Newington community. The trustees are pleased to honor Kingston Wealth Management tonight in a recognition of their support of the race.
Leanne, don't disappear. So again, you're gonna notice a theme here, folks. We have a nice certificate that you can put on your wall.
Beautiful.
And we also have the engraved book that talks about all those beautiful things that you've done for us. So
That's great.
we very much appreciate it.
Take a picture together.
Okay.
Everyone together?
Thank you.
So, can I just make one statement?
Go for it.
Because,
Two.
yeah, I never waste an opportunity to speak, as my wife will let you know. Every time we offer to sponsor, and we talk a lot because we're assisting, helping growing the foundation. And the bequests that come through, but when my daughter was first born, we lived here in Newington. So I think what time we get up 5:30 each morning and walk to Mill Pond Park,
Yeah.
wait for the library to open. So every time we write the check, I just think of my screaming kid that I'd bring in here, probably ruining everyone's time. But it's really developed her into such a great reader. And so, she's just done remarkable. And I think it's, when they say community helps you raise your children, it's something I could speak to firsthand. So it's something we certainly appreciate and has helped us in our lives. So we never hesitate to write that check or support where we can. So thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
Very much appreciate your sentiment. Thank you for sharing that. And you were recorded when you said you never have a problem writing that. So as we say, it takes a community to raise children, but it takes a community to keep a library going. Budgets in every town, in every place are tough. And it's through donations like these that help us. Then there are other people that don't really have to donate, or don't really have a category that we've pre-designed. So we've named this category other. We are grateful nonetheless, and I will ask Pauline Kruk to come up and talk about the Dharma Drum Center. Pauline? Shorter. All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Pauline Kruk, and I am a library trustee here. The Library Board of Trustees is very pleased to recognize the Dharma Drum Mountain, Connecticut chapter for its continuous support of the library through its room use donations over the years that has allowed the library to improve services to the community. Dharma Drum uses the library's free meeting space up to 8 times a year for its organization to meet and meditate. Each time this group meets, they make a donation to the library for use of this space. This is not required, but donations are greatly appreciated. In addition, the members of Dharma Drum are extremely respectful of others and the space they use, always leaving it neat and clean and mindful of those who are working in or using the library. Over the past 10 years alone, they have donated more than $2,700. This money is put in unrestricted funds to be used towards library services. These services include library materials and programming. The library is pleased to be able to offer free meeting space to the community, knowing that many organizations and people do not have easy access to these spaces. Working with people and organizations like Dharma Drum Mountain, Connecticut chapter is always a pleasure because they appreciate and are respectful of the library, staff, and patrons. The continuous donations for room use are an added bonus to our relationship with Dharma Drum that means so much to the library because we can use these donations to offer better services to our community. The Library Board of Trustees is pleased to be able to honor Dharma Drum Mountain, Connecticut chapter this evening for its continuous donations and support for the library. Thank you very much. The third one, you know the routine now, right? It's truly appreciated. As we had said, libraries in Connecticut are free service, right? Free books, free service. But when somebody comes and uses our services and then appreciates using the library, it just makes, I think, the world a better place. So again, we appreciate you offering that. Again, the surprise certificate. And then the home. So another engravement with the notification of why we are thanking you. Again, very much. We love to have you here and we appreciate that you went out of your way to show your appreciation.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
We get a paper there.
Oops.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I would just say, just briefly, since everyone else got to speak. That's right, that's right. I mean, this is just so special. I mean, honestly, I can't believe we're getting this. Like, I feel like we should be handing it to you and all of you of what you do here, offering this space to the community so that, you know, people can use it. And I mean, for free, I mean, that's really, since our group's been around for a while, and it's a small group, that's hard to find. I mean, so what you do, I mean, you really enrich the community and we're so grateful every time we come here. I mean, it's just natural that you give to us and we just want to give back. We want to support the library and all that you do. So it's really wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, those were the corporate donations. And again, without the support of our communities, our businesses in their communities, we couldn't do all that we do. So it is a team effort between staff and having the funding to run some of the programs that we do. It's greatly appreciated. However, it takes more than money to do some of these things. Next up is the appreciation for staff and volunteers. So first is our outstanding volunteer, Jeanette Danino. And I have, sorry, I lost my space, Maureen Lyons is coming up to share with us. Yeah, I'll back up.
Do our little dance,
Next year, we'll practice this.
the two-step. As Diane said, it takes more than just money to run an organization like the Lucy Robbins Wells Library. People are the most important aspect, and the volunteers. And as our outstanding library volunteer, we're recognizing Jeanette Danino. And after I read all that she has done, you're all gonna be ready for a nap. She's a busy woman. Jeanette Danino is being recognized tonight for her wonderful volunteerism at the library. Jeanette began volunteering at the library this past year. She is originally from China and had worked at IBM as a computer programmer. She moved to Newington with her husband during the pandemic. Jeanette originally reached out to the library to find out more about library services. She immediately volunteered to help at the library. She jumped right in, helping staff in the reference office pack up all their stuff and move it to the temporary location during the redesign, which was featured in Lisa's report. She assists at the Let's Talk English conversation programs as well as other adult library programs, and helped set up and break down for the recent Hangel concert in March. She goes with staff to outreach visits to senior living facilities to help set up and assist residents who want to participate. She has also been helping the Friends. She sorts donations, book donations for the sale and other things in the basement. She assisted at the 3-day Friends book sale in the spring, and she has begun helping the Friends with their newsletter and membership mailing. Recently, Jeanette took on another job, delivering and picking up homebound deliveries to our patrons, which has allowed the library to quickly fulfill requests from our homebound patrons. And in case this isn't enough, she also volunteers at the VA, helping patients as well as running their little free library. Jeanette is incredibly kind and giving and always willing to help. She's such a hard worker and is quick to learn and extremely efficient in whatever she does. She is developing some great new relationships with many of the people she has interacted with at the library. Several people she met through her work with the Let's Talk programs have begun meeting more frequently to learn and practice their English on a regular basis. Every once in a while, you get a volunteer, a gem. The one who works well with others, who works hard, is reliable and willing to learn and do more of that, and whose contribution to the library is invaluable. Jeanette is that volunteer for us. The library is so fortunate to have her as one of our regular library volunteers. And we're very pleased to honor Jeanette Danino as this year's outstanding library volunteer.
Thank you, thank you. I'm so surprised, really.
Really?
Yeah.
So here is the certificate. We've got a smile from Michelle. Come in here.
How about tired?
Yeah, aren't you tired?
Thank you.
And then there's just.
Oh,
Thank
thank
you,
you so
Jeanette.
much.
Thank you for all
Can I
that.
say something?
Yes, please.
Well, thanks, Michelle and Lisa, give me the chance to do the volunteer and help senior people. And many people ask me why I'm so love to help senior people, even in the VA cleaning center, because senior people speak English slowly. That's why. Okay, but anyway, I think I still have a room to prove and the learning. So I always stay with the library, Michelle. Okay, okay, so thanks for my son, Renato, come here. Thank you. Thank you.
So don't be surprised if you see her face around at the other library events as we go through. Thanks, Jeanette. Next, we'll move on to staff recognition, and we have two folks to recognize tonight. The first is Betty Cappy, and I'll ask George to come up and do the reading.
They sit in the back, I can get out of the way fast enough.
Good evening, everyone. So any business or organization is only as good as employees. Successful ones have a committed staff who care about their work, care about their coworkers, have a commitment to their profession, and care about those they are helping. In this case, the community of Newington, we are fortunate to be able to honor two of our staff members tonight. Betty KP grew up in Newington and began working at the library 38 years ago in the circulation department, working part-time for 23 years and then transitioning to a full-time position 15 years ago. Betty is an integral part of the circulation department. Many of you see her on the circulation desk helping you check out or check in materials or pick up your holds. She has such a kind and caring way about her that patrons appreciate and respond to her on a daily basis. The advantage to working in one place for a long time is that you get to know many of the people who walk through the front doors. The advantage for our patrons is that Betty values the importance of excellent customer service and making people feel welcome by remembering their names when she greets them, engaging in meaningful conversation with them, because she has gotten to know them over the years and always showing how willing she is to help them and have a positive experience at the library. In addition to helping patrons on the circulation desk, Betty trains all the library pages who shelve library materials. This is a critical role in any library, as the accurate shelving of these materials directly affects the usability, efficiency, and overall reputation of the library. Proper training of those who are assigned this task is vital. Betty's extensive knowledge of library systems, her attention to detail, and her kind, patient, thorough approach all ensure that our pages will be successful in their role at the library. Betty is always willing to go the extra mile in any given situation. She went above and beyond by stepping in to take on additional responsibilities when her supervisor was out on maternity leave twice. Without hesitation, Betty worked closely with the assistant director to ensure that the day-to-day operation of the circulation department ran smoothly. She supported staff in the department and handled many of the tasks that are critical to the success of the department and overall the library. She did this without missing a beat and always with a smile. Her extensive knowledge, kind demeanor, and fair-mindedness have earned her the respect of staff and patrons alike. Betty also took on a major role with the adult summer reading program this year, working with the library director to make sure the program ran smoothly. This year was the most successful one to date, with 732 adults participating. She handled all of the day-to-day details, and participants were so pleased with how much fun it was. Betty's quiet, calm, and friendliness make the library a better place to work and a better experience for our patrons. She brings consistency and quality to everything she does. Her strong work ethic, reliability, and thoughtful approach has made her an invaluable asset to library operations. Tonight, the Library of Trustees is pleased to recognize Betty KB for her dedication and hard work to the library. The board is pleased to honor Betty this year as an outstanding library staff member.
So you probably recognize Betty's face. I don't know if you recognize the faces behind all the cameras in the back of the room, but those are her fellow coworkers that are so excited for, oops, I'm getting directed, that are so excited for her, for the time that she's been here. Nope, she's motioning us in. Come on in, yep. Did you get us?
Yeah.
Okay. And what about the peanut gallery back there? Are you guys good? Thank you. So this is your certificate. And again, we've all seen you here day after day. You know how valuable you are to the library. This is just an appreciation from us.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome to say anything if you'd like.
On the spot.
I'm
You
just
don't have to.
really grateful. I love this job. I work with the best people. And, the patrons are really great. So I thank you very much for, recognizing me and this is just wonderful.
Okay. We have another staff person that we'd like to recognize tonight, and I'll ask Christine Schutten to come up.
Evening. So Dave Brown, he began working at the library in 2010. Initially, he was a library monitor, worked evenings helping staff with unruly patrons, setting up meeting space for programs and meetings, and other small projects as assigned. In 2019, Dave became the library's maintenance technician, which means he is our jack of all trades. He comes in early each morning to make sure the library is set up for the day. He sets up the programming and meeting space, empties the book drops in the mornings, does a walkthrough of the building to see if there are any areas of concern, and works on his list of small building issues, fixing when he can and working with the town facilities department for larger projects. If Dave is caught up with his work, he offers to help in other areas such as shelving new books or weeding library materials. All of these tasks are essential to keeping the library running smoothly, and many of the tasks that he does essentially repairs or maintenance of the building, saves the library board and facilities department time and money. Dave has become an integral part of the library's ability to host large events or to manage larger events held at the town hall or in the park. When the library has a large program or after hours event in the main area of the library, Dave is there. He helps us with the crowd control, setting up space under the atrium, which involves moving all the mobile shelving, putting out chairs, and then putting the space back together after the event is over, as well as managing the parking. During the handled events, the Friends Winterfest, the summer reading finale, and more, Dave is in front and center, helping to ensure we have a successful event. Over the past 3 summers, Dave has taken on an additional role on Thursday evenings, acting as the library's parking monitor to guarantee that the library has parking for families attending the family story time and patrons who want to use the library. During the summer, every Thursday night, there is a concert at the park. Without Dave's assistance, the library would have no parking at all between 5 and 8 p.m. He redirects people who are attending the concert to other parking options to save parking for the patrons. This is a thankless job. It has typically been very hot and sometimes people were rude to him when he asked them to park elsewhere. Dave has handled these challenges with such grace and his efforts are so appreciated by everyone. Tonight, the Library Board of Trustees would like to thank and recognize Dave Brown for all of his dedication and hard work to the library. The board is pleased to honor Dave this year as an outstanding library staff member.
Congratulations, Dave. This is almost the end, right? And I've got the picture stuff. There we go. So I have served on the House Committee for the library for many years, on and off. The House Committee is the one that kind of walks through and says,
armchair's looking a little rough. Oh my gosh, we could use some paint in that corner. So we make an awfully long list. And then I go down the list and I'm like, can Dave do this? Can Dave do this? Can Dave do this? More times than not, the answer is yes. He does put a smile. And as was alluded to in there, the fact that we have somebody on site who can do the regular maintenance things, just helps keep us neater and tighter. But also in terms of helping for the different events that we have, this is yours, the different events and stuff that we have, it's in that, so thank you. Would you like to say anything?
I'm gonna have a few words. I'm only gonna say a few, but this just calls to mind an old TV show that many of you weren't born yet to see. It's called I Love Lucy.
Nickelodeon.
Thank you.
Okay. You could tell I was looking for somebody in the audience and she moved. So next up is the Legacy Society inductees. And as I mentioned earlier, Anna Eddy is a longtime board member who's stepping back. Much of the success that we've had with the Legacy Society, some of the changes, some of the new names and branding came from Anna. A lot of the new supporters for the 5K race came from Anna. She's incredibly creative and hardworking. We will miss her on the board, but she did say that she would be around to help on a few things, so we hope to keep her engaged to that end. But I'll ask Anna Eddy to come up and talk about our Legacy Society inductees for one last time.
Thank you, everyone. One last time. I am sticking around to train my replacements.
On tape.
One of the roles that I am leading is chair of the Fund Development Committee, which oversees the Legacy Society, which started 20 years ago. And back then they were calling it the Endowment Society or something like that. And it's like, oh, we can't do that. So we've evolved over time and we've grown, and today the Legacy Society is an association of library patrons and friends who have made donations and or future provisions for our lovely library in their estate plans, regardless of value. We'll take small contributions, we'll take large contributions. We're not fussy. But these provisions may be in the form of bequests, trust, annuities, life insurance, retirement plans, or other means, and all of this is on our website. We have a page for the Legacy Society that goes on and on and on. And you know, if you think about supporting the library in the future, it's a place to check out. Tonight, the Library Board of Trustees would like to honor and acknowledge several people for their request to the library during the past year. The first is into the Trustees Council, and the Trustees Council is for those individuals whose gifts, which may be cumulative over time, total between $25,000 to $99,999. Patricia Jean Foley was a longtime Newington resident. Actually, that sounds odd because we all knew her as Patty Foley. And she was an very active library supporter. She held many roles at the library, including being a member of the Friends Advisory Board and the Library Board of Trustees. In addition to all of this, she was an avid library user and a huge library advocate in town. Her dedication and drive for those causes that she supported was legendary. Patty passed away in 2023, sadly, leaving a legacy of volunteerism that is matched by few. The library was very fortunate to have been one of those organizations that Patty held dear to her heart. One of her final acts of generosity was to remember organizations in town in her will that were important to her. And fortunately, the library was one of them. Patty's bequest allows the Library Board of Trustees to improve services at the library, maintain the integrity of the library building, and plan for the library's future. The trustees are very grateful for her request and would like to induct Patricia Jean Foley into the Legacy Society's Trustees Council. And unfortunately, there is no family member here to represent Patty, so this is a virtual induction. Next, we have the 1939 Society. Now, the 1939 Society was established this year because we did a review of our donors and what they had donated over the past few years, because somehow we attract people and donors. And when the Legacy Society was established, back in like 2008, maybe, no, before that, 2003, I think, yeah, I was around when this all started. I've been around for a while, actually. We had very modest expectations. And so anybody who at that time, that donated over $100,000 went into this category, the Trustees Council. In our review, we found we had several donors that did much more, and some of them are truly legacy donors. George Hanel, with the Hanel concert, he donated a very long time ago. And Richard Leinhardt, who was a board member at one time, and there's a room upstairs named on his behalf. Their donations, they sat there and they grew thanks to people like Dean and Kingston Wealth Management, and their donations are now quite substantial. And we said, we need to do something more to recognize these people. So we established the 1939 Society for those gifts, which may be cumulative, that total over $100,000 or more. And we now have several of them, including the Hanel and the Leinhardt donations, which were like an automatic step up. And unfortunately, there are no family members to represent them either. But tonight we're going to induct 2 new members into the society. And again, there are no descendants to represent them here tonight. So there's a lovely woman named Margaret Eddy Hooker, and she is a direct descendant to Thomas Hooker and Isabel Beecher Hooker. I don't know if the name Thomas Hooker sounds familiar to you, right? It's Hartford founders. And in 1967, I won't tell you where I was in 1967. She set up the Margaret E. Hooker Charitable Remainder Unit Trust that named 5 nonprofit organizations as beneficiaries. This was way before the Legacy Society was even a twinkle in our eye. The Lucy Robbins Wells Library was named one of those 5 beneficiaries. This type of trust provides variable annual income to non-charitable beneficiaries for a specified term, with the remaining assets passing to a designated charity or charities upon termination. Margaret passed away in 1980. She was survived by her only daughter, Isabel. Upon the death of Isabel in 2024, the library, as one of the beneficiaries, was contacted about this request and received the final installment of the trust in 2024. The Library Board of Trustees is so thankful to have been chosen as the beneficiary by Margaret Eddy Hooker when she was creating this trust. To receive funds like this means that the Board of Trustees may use these unrestricted funds to ensure the future of the library for many, many years to come. The Library Board of Trustees would like to acknowledge and induct Margaret E. Hooker Charitable Remainder Unit Trust into the 1939 Society for a bequest of more than $100,000. The second inductee into the 1939 Society are Donald and Violet Johnson. The Johnsons were longtime Newington residents who were active in town, avid readers, and well-known library users. They supported the library through participation in services and being active members of the Friends of the Library. They were kind and thoughtful people who were able to enjoy many hours of reading from the library's varied collection. In 2020, Donald and Violet Johnson created a revocable trust that named the library as one of its beneficiaries. Violet Johnson passed away in 2022, and her husband of 63 years, God bless them, Donald passed away in 2024. Upon his death, the library learned that they were to receive a bequest from the Johnsons that could be used, excuse me, that could be used to support the library of today and in the future. The generosity and thoughtfulness of the Johnsons towards the library will always be remembered. It is especially meaningful to know that the library and services provided them with so many hours of enjoyable entertainment through their love of reading. The Library Board of Trustees would like to acknowledge and induct Donald and Violet Johnson into the 1939 Society for a bequest of more than $100,000. And that concludes tonight's inductees into the Lucy Robbins Wells Legacy Society.
Anna, could you explain the 1939
1939.
designation?
Did anybody,
For those of us who do
did
not
anybody
know?
make a connection with 1939?
Started a lot.
It's when the library doors opened up. Right, and so we thought that was a fitting tribute. We have, we have several levels. We have an authors club for those who, I said we were modest, donations up to $999. Right, we have a patrons club, a benefactors club that goes up to $9,999. There's a director's circle, a runner circle, and those, guess who the runner circles are for? Sponsors who support the 5K, right? The trustees council, which Patty went into, and now the 1939 Society. And there will be another 1939 Society that was look tonight. And we'll get to that at another time, or not. I won't be here to get to it, but the board will get to it, and I'll make sure it's on their to-do list. And I thank you very much, and I thank Diane for the kind words tonight.
Moved it around. We moved it around on purpose. As you may know, we have been very, very lucky lately with the money, the donations and things that we've received. So we're always appreciative of that. I'd really like to just take a moment to say that we appreciate people's support of the library, no matter what shape it comes in. If it's giving counsel to the library, if it's appreciation of use of the library, if it's in the way that you come to work every day and support our organizations in our towns, if it's the volunteers that come, everybody that comes with a smile, that's what makes our library so great. So again, sounding a little choked up, but sincere thanks from the Board of Trustees, really from your community, for what you do for this library. We appreciate it. So some of the things that Anna read off, there is, if you go to the website, which has been newly revamped as of Friday, if you go to the Newington Library website or the town websites, when you go to the library page, you will see a nice big button that says donations. So if you have friends, family, anyone else that's interested in a donation, you can point them in that direction. They can always call the library if they're looking for some information and want a more hands-on touch. And just so you know, I did check, and the Powerball winners were from Texas. And just in case. We constantly tease about, what we would do if we won the Powerball. I did not win. So our evening is coming to a close. I thank you for your time tonight. As always, I thank you for your support of the library and our community in general. I'd like to remind you that the George G. Hanel concert is coming up. It's a Friday night, October 17th. It's after hours, right? Which means that the doors open, I believe, at 6 or 6:30?
6:30.
6:30. 6:30, and the concert this time will be jazz music. So if you come in, sit down, enjoy, visit with some folks. We always have a few refreshments, of which I still see there are some over here. So feel free to walk by and grab another refreshment before you leave for the evening.
At this point, I would ask for a motion of adjournment. So moved. Notice how fast that comes. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Everybody gets it, yeah. All those in favor? Any opposed? Thank you, motion carries unanimously. Again, thank you everyone for coming this evening and for your support of our library.
Sure.